All right, I'm back and I found my board. So we're going to do a quick case study today in the spirit and the style of the old Biz Doc case studies. What I was just talking about is, hey, when you hire people, you may incentivize them. You may give them stock. Well, I've got a case study to talk about that through the lens of history of the birth of Inter Miami, the soccer team in Miami that just signed Messi, and the signing of Messi himself. Let's go back in history to see where it all starts. It actually starts 16 years ago in 2007. Wait a minute. Messi was born in 1987. He'd be barely 20 years old. How does Messi coming to Inter Miami go back 16, 17 years? I'll tell you how. David Beckham was coming to the LA Galaxy, one of the two Los Angeles soccer teams in MLS. At the time, it was one. He gets a 5-year, $250 million contract and has a clause in it, an option to pay $25 million in the future to get an expansion team. Why did they do that? They were trying to bring the wattage, the superpower, the superstar that was David Beckham, bend it like Beckham, to bring him to the United States to raise the characterization of MLS being a Tier 1 league, because it was seen as, well, you know, when you get in semi-retirement, maybe some of the Europeans can just go off to the United States to MLS. No, they wanted to raise they did. Beckham, 5 years, $250 million with the Galaxy, and an option for $25 million to buy. Now, why is that significant? When an expansion team happens in professional sports, if you and me, wanted to go buy the expansion team, we would probably have to put up 9 figures, over $100 million, maybe $200 million to buy our seat at the table as an expansion team. Where does that money go? Well, some goes to the league, but the rest gets distributed to the rest of owners as a profit share, because they have helped build the league to be something that you and I now want to spend $200 million for an expansion team. Well, he's being given a huge discount. So the Galaxy are paying him $5 years, $250 million, but Major League Soccer says, and we'll help subsidize it. We'll say that in the future, if Beckham wants to bring people together for an expansion team, he only has to pay $25 million, not $100 million or more, whatever the price is at that time. Well, how'd that work out? We all know how it worked out. Beckham was a constant figure in United States news and media about sports and celebrity. Him and his wife, who was a popular musician, singer, and 2-time champion, the Galaxy, 2011, 2012, so it worked out. Beckham raises the stature of the league, and then in 2014, he exercises the option. Now remember, at the time he signed the contract in 2007, a young Messi was 20 years old and already being talked about as being the best player in the world. Well, now Beckham puts the option for the team. Inter Miami, it's pink. The pink follows the story. Let me shift this way and see what happened. So 2014, he exercises the option. I'm going to pay the $25 million. We're going to expand the team. Then he was joined by Marcelo Clare and Masayoshi-san from SoftBank Vision. Hey, if you know my case studies and I talk about venture capitalists and big funds around the world, you know the SoftBank Vision Fund and Masayoshi-san are players. Well, they were part of it as well. Well, what do you have to do once you have a team now? Now he's got permission to get a team. He's got to find a stadium. He starts working with the politics and city council and the planning commissions in Miami. Needed to find a place for a stadium. Well, there was one plan that you may have recalled. It was Messi, Port of Miami. That got voted down. As a matter of fact, that got voted down 11-1. We don't want to do it. So they wanted Inter Miami. They wanted an MLS team, especially given the great diversity and interest in soccer, football, in South Florida. Well, that gets knocked down. Well, let's put it in Little Havana, near the Miami Marlins Stadium. Nope, that gets knocked down, or not feasible. Then we'll put it in a place called Overton. If you look on the maps, you'll see where Overton is Miami. Nope, that doesn't work. So all of this is going on because between the time of the option, they're trying to get what is going to be the first year it actually plays in 2020. And he's got big money partners with him. Well, 2017, they even found even more money with the Moss family. And there's 2 gentlemen from the Moss family, brothers, that came and co-invested. And so there's an older brother, which was all part of he became the managing, I believe the managing owner of the team. And then Co-ownership was David Beckham and Jose, the younger brother. They would eventually buy out Marcelo Clark, Masayoshi-san, and keep looking for the arena, a place to put the stadium. Arena, I'm thinking basketball. So here we go. The 2020, the first year, 7 wins, 13 losses, 3 ties, 10th in the conference, 19th overall. Not bad for an expansion team. Not great, but not bad. 2021, the brothers, the Mas brothers, and RS Capital, a very large financial company, brings in $150 million, and they buy out Marcelo Carr, Masayoshi-san. So the owners are now Beckham and the Mas brothers and RS Capital. Important thing, 2021, they're 12 wins, 17 losses, 5 draws, 11th in the conference, 20th in the league. Not great, but it's only their second year of existence. But now there's a whole different style of conversation that is around Inter Miami. They're talking about bigger plans for a stadium, and Freedom Park would be the summation of those plans, which was a golf course that was right next to Miami International Airport that wasn't doing particularly well and also needed some cleanup. So this piece of property needed a lot of love. And to put a stadium there and to take time to do environmental cleanup and add other services like parks, practice fields, and things so the public has more than just a stadium to go see Inter Miami several times a year, that became it. The plans are fantastic. You can see here what we're talking about. The individual images you're seeing right now is Freedom Park, what it's going to look like. Then Beckham supposedly has been talking to Messi on and off for 2 years, dating back to 2021. And then July of this year, Messi is given an opportunity to come to Miami. But how did they win him over? How did they get him to do that? It's the same thing that they did that you would do if you have a small company and you need to get a technical partner. I want to hire a CTO. I want to hire a great sales leader. How do you do that? Well, you might give a little piece of equity in the company called stock options. Now they have to vest or earn them over a period of years, but nonetheless, you can afford to give them a salary. Maybe if it's a sales guy, you have an annual bonus and commissions. But then how do you get a real big player to come to you if you're small? And as you can see, this was the early years for Inter Miami. You do it with ownership. And they have given Messi ownership in the team. And I'm going to tell you what the senior owner said in just a minute, but let's reflect back. Does Beckham know a little something about the extra something to be in a contract? You bet, because he went to play for the Galaxy when he could have played anywhere in the world, and he was given a $25 million option so that he could buy the expansion team. Well, now Messi is being given equity so he could profit in the growth of the team that is Inter Miami. And check this out. George Mas, who is the older of the two brothers, he basically had an interview with CNBC and he said, look, last year we had about $56 million in total revenue, but we believe with Messi, with tickets and merchandise sales and everything else, that's going to double to $110 million this year. And right now, we're like the 10th or 11th most valuable team in soccer. You see the stats that come out once a year saying Dallas Cowboys, one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world. Yankees, one of the most valuable sports franchises. Well, check this out. Major League Soccer has also entered the conversation. The most valuable Major League Soccer team is actually the Los Angeles Football Club, LAFC. They just won the MLS championship, and they are projected having a value right now of about $1 billion. George Mas says, you give us a year with what Messi's going to bring to MLS and to Inter Miami, I believe we will be worth $1.5 billion, putting them as the most valuable MLS team. So you can see it leads to value. They believe Messi is going to lead to tremendous value of the team. And last night, we just saw it, their first game, it was a regional tournament that was put on. Messi scores in the 94th minute in extra time, hitting a free kick over the wall of players into the top corner of the goal, and the sold-out crowd at their temporary stadium while Freedom Park is being built goes nuts. MLS goes nuts. So on the first game, the realization of the star power and everything he wants to be is here. And there's where it goes for you and me. Do you see how the puzzle can unfold over many years? That's the case study. in your industry, what you're doing, the puzzle can unfold for you, and a key player that you bring in, giving a little equity into the company, can be something that helps drive the value. That's what's happening here. So what's happening here on a much smaller basis can happen to entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, and leaders all around the world, whatever you're doing. As I like to say, whether you're running a t-shirt company in Berlin or you're running a technology company in Silicon Valley, this is what happened to you. And this is the story of Inter Miami that really started back in 2007, and it ends today, chapter 1, with Messi joining the team. And in 2025, his third year of the team, they will be kicking off at a brand new stadium that I predict people are going to be saying, the house that Messi built. That's the case study for this week, and that's the lesson for you and me. We can find the Messis for our company, not on the scale and in the headlines, but the people need to bring on, and we can use a little bit of equity to sweeten the pot to ensure they do.